While the COVID-19 virus is monopolizing our media outlets, it reminds us that we do not have a cure for every ailment. Diseases that wreak havoc on the world's populations may become a more frequent reality with the constant emergence of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. 75% of all antibiotics produced, or 21 million pounds annually, are used by factory farm operations to prevent illness and disease in their livestock populations. While I understand avoiding meat and dairy is not realistic or desirable for everyone, I believe it is very important to know where these products came from and how they can affect your health. Hopefully, by explaining how factory farm animals can negatively impact our health by describing the overuse of antibiotics in livestock, the implantation of hormone implants to augment their growth, and the unclean and unsafe storage practices of livestock, will convince you to find alternative sources to your meat and dairy products. While I understand farming is a source of income for many families, as well as a source of enjoyment for those who consume the products, these products we expect to be at a reasonable cost, we must be more conscious of what we are consuming. First, I want to explain the process of antibiotic resistance, as explained in the article How Antibiotics Resistance Happens on the CDC's website. When humans have an infection, they are prescribed antibiotics. These antibiotics will kill all bacteria, including the good bacteria that makes up the resident microflora of your digestive tract. This microflora is important immune response and is now compromised by the antibiotic. A bacterial infection takes millions and millions of cells to become symptomatic. Maybe a few of those cells during replication have developed a mutation that allow them to survive the antibiotic. These resistant bacteria are now left to reproduce, and flourish unhindered by the good bacteria and create a new resistant infection that cannot be treated with the same antibiotics. By providing antibiotics in excess to farm animals, this process may happen several times before this bacteria is transferred to a human host, making it very difficult to treat. Hormones are also used in factory farming to increase the size of animals. Cows are given estradiol 17 beta, which allows their sex characteristic to develop more rapidly, which allows for quicker impregnation and for milk production as well. Estradiol 17B is listed as a class 1 carcinogen by the National Institute of Health. In their article talking about how hormones and antibiotics in animal products affect humans, they noted that this hormone leads to increased tumor growth in reproductive and hormone cells in humans. Progesterone was also mentioned in this article. Progesterone implants are placed under the skin and the ears of the cows, which can lead to an increase in production of cholesterol in the cow's cells. Dietary cholesterol is only consumed through eating animal products. While our bodies can process some dietary cholesterol, excessive cholesterol will remain in the bloodstream and can lead to clots, heart attacks, and even stroke. The process of factory farming and animal storage is also a breeding ground for zoonotic disease transmission. In an article written by research journalist Melinda Moyer for Scientific Daily, she noted that the farm she visited during her research held 1,100 pigs in an 800 square foot barn. She was also provided with a plastic jumpsuit and shoe covers because the entire farm facility was covered in feces. Workers handling animals were also not wearing gloves. All the resistant bacteria I discussed earlier is now contained in these feces and can be spread by the animals moving from pen to pen, and by the workers also moving from pen to pen, and the workers traveling home and transporting the diseases home to their families. These feces will also be sold to create manure that will be spread over crops that, if not washed before consuming, can transfer the bacteria to a new population. One of my best friend's families owns a farm in Ashtabula County, Ohio. It's been a source of income for their family for many generations. They currently house 24 cows in a 200 acre farm that has 3 barns on it. A much more spacious farming operation than as the pigs are stored in, as I mentioned earlier. These cows have pastures to roam, grass to eat, and are kept in clean barns that are maintained. Keeping production costs low and profit margins high is also important for American businesses and the American consumers, because a higher profit margin and lower costs allows the business to pass on a lower price to the consumer. Wouldn't you be willing to pay a few extra dollars to ensure that your products are free of disease? My argument is not against the consumption of animal products, it is against the unsafe, profit-driven, and unclean practices of large factory farming operations. I hope by explaining the negative health risks of overuse of antibiotics and hormones in livestock and the unclean storage of animals in factory farming operations that can lead to disease transmission will persuade you to seek out alternative sources for your products. That includes shopping from smaller family farms that raise antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and ethically raised animals. And also, while grocery shopping, checking the labels of all the meat and dairy products you are buying, making sure they also read antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and ethically raised.